Namaskar. Welcome to NCERT's live and official session. You're watching us on PM eVidya channels 6 to 12. You're also watching us on NCERT's YouTube channel, which is called NCERT Official, and NCERT's PM eVidya channel 6 to 12 on YouTube as well. You can post your comments in the comment box in YouTube or call us at 8800-440-559. My name is AMIT RANJAN, and viewers, we are doing this series called Transformational Teaching regarding the new textbooks. So we did a series on class 6. Now today we are beginning a series on class 4 textbooks which have just come out. And joining us today is Dr. DHANYA KRISHNAN. Good morning, ma'am. Namaskar. And this is class 4 textbook of the world around us, which is a new subject, and the book is called Our Wondrous World. So we'll ask Dr. Krishnan, who is also the coordinator of this book, about this book and about the innovative teaching methods and learning methods that can be used. So welcome once again, ma'am. And it is very interesting that this is a new subject. It used to be called environmental science earlier, and now the nomenclature is different. So please tell us about the name and also this subject. What's different?
Thank you, Amit sir, for this wonderful opportunity to interact with teachers and children of our country, especially who are studying and teaching in grade 4. As you said, the subject itself has got changed. We say curricular area, it is the world around us, and the name of the book is Our Wondrous World. The change in the title actually indicates the transformatory policy as indicated in NEP 2020. It talks about the child as the center of learning and how the pedagogy to be more experiential based, more exploratory for children. So if you can see the slide, nutshell, we can say the NEP 2020 talks about child, the process of learning and environment. The child, NEP recognizes child as capable, and the child is unique, and the child is naturally curious to know the surroundings. Then the process of learning, it could be more experiential, the children can relate it from their context, and it could be more exploratory, wherein children are curious to experiment, explore, observe, and coming out with their own inferences. Then the environment to be such that wherein children are free to voice out, and then it is more responsible environment, and wherein children feel valued, their voices are heard by the teachers, and the pedagogy to be developmentally appropriate for children. They can relate to the concepts, and then they can come out with their own predictions and then hypothesizing, and they come out with their own conclusion as well. But at the same time, the whole process could be value based. So this is what NEP 2020 talks about children and the process of learning. Then the subject got changed to the world around us, considering that there should be an interdisciplinary approach about 3 different worlds of child. Child has a physical world, child has a natural world around, and child has a social world as well. So how do we bring the elements of these 3 worlds, 3 dimensions in the form of a subject or the curricular area? That is why the world around us has been introduced. Right. And the book title, even in grade 3, it was the same, Our Wondrous World, and we are very happy to introduce this book to the schools, the children and the students and other stakeholders as well.
Wonderful. And there's also the world of imagination, which this book also explores by giving them various kinds of engaging activities and trying to connect different strands of the world.
Yeah, there are different approaches we used. There are picture reading activity wherein children has to look at the picture and come out with their own inferences. There are activities for children to create certain elements wherein using paper or using some other locally available material, they create certain things. There are activity for children to imagine and draw and then explain also. So there are varied kinds of approaches we have used in the textbook. Basically the world around us is for developing the sensitivity towards the environment, and at the same time certain kinds of pre-vocational skill also could be developed through this particular curricular area. So our effort is that giving them understanding about the nature, about the environment, at the same time using their imagination, creativity, the so-called 21st century skills like creativity, critical thinking, problem solving also could be done. So if I can show you the front cover of the book, you can see that there are elements of of modernity in terms of the use of modern equipments, and then tractors, and you can see the drones also there. In subtle way we are trying to introduce the modernity, but at the same time based on the rootedness of, you can see the the other side there are yoga poster, and then about the, you can see the birds, you can see the sky and moon. So we have kind of these kind of concepts under 5 units. If I can talk about the book, this is the structure of the book. We have 5 units and each unit has 2 chapters. The first unit is our community. If you remember grade 3, we started with family and family and neighborhood. So we are trying to enlarge the horizon of children, because children are familiarized with family members, and now they are going to explore little more deeper and then broader, wherein they will be exploring about community. What community is, what is the role of community, and how could a child be a responsible member in the community, what a child can do, and what kind of changes the child is envisaging in a community. So that element, for that we have one complete unit for it, our community, wherein 2 chapters. One is about living together. Here it is more about the characteristics of community, like eating together, enjoying together, solving problems together. Those elements are
and there are
discussed.
also interesting stories interwoven into the whole book.
Yes.
And I remember there's this story of cleaning up a park and having a community picnic.
Exactly, sir. Right. We have taken a context of one Mahotsav, and then in that, what the children of a particular village is trying to, how do they celebrate one Mahotsav, that is depicted, and how do they take the help from parents and then other community members and their roles of the community members. So through that we are trying to introduce certain vocational skills as well. And here we have taken little effort that some of the gender stereotype thing also let it go off. For we thought it could be electrician, could be a woman, which most of the times we have a perception that an electrician or kind of a skilled person is a man. Picture or
a lot of knowledge can be passed through storytelling.
Yes. Sir, as you said, the shift. There is a shift from the content based to competency based. National Education Policy 2020 talks about the shift from content to competency, wherein the idea is not to give children bombarded with content and then they memorize it and then vomit in the examination paper. It is more on the development of the competency. They have listed out the curricular goals. There are curricular goals specifically listed for each subject, and then we have competency listed as well. The competencies are for the stage, for the preparatory stage. So we have certain learning outcomes derived out of this competency based on the curricular goals. So based on this curricular goals, when competency based instruction to be given, then of course it cannot be like a lecture mode. It is that more of the narrative discussion. Children discuss among themselves. Children go back to their house and then ask their elders about the things what they learned, and they try to understand the world better. I remember your last interaction with Professor M.V. Srinivasan about the differences between science and social science. That's how you entered the conversation. See, here it is the amalgamation of science, social science and environmental science. Right. But you can see that the different methods what we use in science and the methods used in social science. For example, as Professor Srinivasan was talking about the social experiments, here we are giving children a basics of it. Right. Like they are doing a survey in a locality, they are coming back and then discussing. At the same time, the process that we use in science like exploration, observation, experimentation, that also we have included in different units.
Right.
And that is how we try to integrate the nuances of these and the smaller nuances of these different disciplines as well.
Great. Yeah.
So if we can come back to the structure of the textbook.
Sure.
The first unit is, as I said, it is about the community. The first chapter is living together. Second is about exploring our neighborhood. Here we tried children to understand the different community institutes and agencies, like its post office, and then what are the functions of post office? Is it only that sending letter? Even sending letter is something that students may not be familiarized. We all used to enjoy writing letters, and then we used to wait for receiving letters as well. But now the children may not be that familiarized with letter writing. So we are given certain activities wherein children can write a letter and then get the feel of getting valued by somebody else.
It's very important to know the history where we are coming from.
That's true. So we have given the evolution of communication also through the different pictorial method as well. And then in addition to post office, if you say the bank, see, we all bank, the functions of bank. Now we want the teachers to take them to these places if possible, like even if it is post office or bank, if not possible for everything, at least one of the community agencies which is available nearby, the teachers should take an effort to take them to the place and see that how it functions and what is the role of these community institutes or agencies in our day-to-day life. At the same time, when in the context of bank, we try to introduce certain basics of financial literacy. We all talk about it. So there are certain activities wherein children has to imagine, like you have 100 rupees and then how much you do you save, and then how much do you spend, and then this activity could be taken in the classroom, in the sense the teacher can encourage children to have certain money box, maybe in a locally available material. Children can create a money box, they can put some money and then can see that how much they save and how much they spend for it. So that attitude towards money and then financial literacy, basic things of saving, the understanding money in real sense. So we are trying to do that from the grade 4 itself. So exploring our neighborhood, basically it talks about the community agencies. When it comes to the unit 2, we have 2 chapters. It's about nature trail, the unit title as life around us, and we have 2 chapters, nature trail and growing up with nature. Sir, Amit sir was the reviewer of the whole book of the world around us. Sir is very familiarized with the chapters. So we had lots of discussion about how do we introduce this concept and then how the competency could be developed. So we reached to a conclusion that could be a forest could be an interesting element that children are fascinated about, the animals, the plants, and then even the life around the forest. So forest we have taken as a system, and then we talk about the diversity of nature, about, in fact, one of the curricular goals is that children understand and appreciate nature. They understand that there are diverse animals and plants and their nuances. If we can show you,
important in the current time, because there's so much deforestation going on, so the importance of forests in climate change, students should understand, which I think this unit does very well.
Yeah, true. This is the basic of it. Like they try to appreciate nature, then automatically they will have that responsible behavior towards it. In fact, we have given certain do's and don'ts in the forest as well. What should be a responsible behavior of a child in nature? So, and in addition to that, we have tried that the certain concepts also could be introduced. For example, there are certain activities. If we can do that activity here. I have certain leaves like this, and sir is going to identify these leaves by seeing it, by touching it, by smelling, using the different senses.
So this one is mango.
Yes, mango.
And this one is guava.
Sir is a good student. You can spell it and tell me.
And this feels like lemon. I'm not sure.
True. Yes.
Okay.
And this again.
This is obvious from the shape. It's,
we talk about the indigenous things and our Indian knowledge system as well. So we talk about neem and the other, important leaves which we use it in our daily life.
So these are trees that are in our neighborhood.
Yes,
as well as
I just collected from our own campus, and you can see that there are leaves which are different in color, and it has the beauty, appreciating the beauty of the leaf. At the same time, how do they understand the concepts in it?
Show,
what is the difference, sir? If I can ask you this between these two, what is the color and then?
So of course the color and the shape. And then it has parallel veins over here.
See in the
so
grade,
we can show it under the camera, the parallel veins, And this one, it's the shape, of course, is different.
Yeah, these two different in the veins,
in the veins,
structure of the vein, but we are not introducing venation because this is a concept in higher grades.
Right.
But at the same time, children should understand that there are differences even in the structure. So they see that there are without introducing the scientific concepts like reticulate and parallel venation, we say the lines are different. At least till that they understand at the grade 4 and in higher grades they
observing, start getting curious, and
Yes,
start getting ready
exactly.
for what is to come in.
Yeah, exactly.
Classes.
So yeah, this is what we expect from the unit 2. And then second one is about growing up with nature. Here it is more about the life around nature, where we talk about the a village where the children are happy to know that it's solar powered, fully solar powered village. And this anecdote, this has been taken from a real instance.
Right.
Then how children enjoy a kind of a life which is very close to nature, and the life around the people's life around the nature, how close they are, and what is the importance of being more responsible towards nature. So this was the 4th chapter. Then comes to the third theme, that is health and well-being. One of the most important
dishes.
some of the pictures are there, so not for all, but there are pictures wherein the children are sitting together and eating together.
Right.
The major important, and I mean the most important thing is that children understand and appreciate the variety in the food items. It's that the different people eat different things based on their geographical condition, and you can see that there is
Maybe
one
we can
pachadi.
show them
Yeah.
the food items on page 77.
Yeah. And even 73, this 73, it's about the Ugadi Pachadi.
Yeah.
This is one of the traditional
If you
items
could,
which has.
push the book a little upward.
Is that okay? Yeah. So this is about the Ugadi Pachadi. This is a traditional dish which is commonly used in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and in some part of Karnataka as well. So it has the shadras, that means the different taste, made with 6 different taste elements like sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter and astringent.
Right.
So we are introducing certain kinds of indigenous food items as well.
Which is why
to
it's
this.
called mystery masala.
Yes, it's called mystery masala because the title, we
got
thought
all the tastes.
Yeah, exactly, sir. And they won't be able to identify, is it one specific taste or not.
Right.
And as you said, there are food groups that we had, the 3 different food groups. Here, we are not intended children to understand the different food groups like carbohydrate, protein, and that fat. They will be doing it in the higher grades, but at least they understand that there are food items which are rich in energy. There are certain food items which are more, they are called as protective foods like fruits and vegetables. So through this activity, one of the important thing what we intend is that saying no to junk food.
Right.
So
that is very important.
True.
For children to understand, with so much advertising bombarding children, and they insist on having junk food.
Yeah.
So raising this awareness, and this is also important for teachers and parents to bring awareness in this. Yeah.
Yeah, agree, sir, totally. That's why through this we say how a balanced food plate to be. So the teachers can introduce these kind of things, create the awareness on children. At the same time, the different methods of cooking. Here again, if a general element, if I can say that we have a question like, do you help in cooking at home? We don't expect 4th grade children to cook fully, but do you intend to do the help in whoever is cooking at home? And there is another question, do you think all family members should know how to cook?
Right.
And why? So these kind of questions for children to discuss in the classroom, wherein teacher can be a facilitator,
So
teacher can bring in
what
different
is
elements.
the suggested answer for that?
Yes, yeah, of course, everybody should know how to go. It's a skill of survival rather than it. There is no gender stereotypical, person that
Most people understand it as that
Yeah.
mothers cook and
Yeah.
fathers
bring food, bring
food
things
or watch
from there.
TV
But
and read the
no, we
newspaper.
the mothers also bring food, and you the fathers also cook, I am
Right.
sure. So it's that how do we break that stereotype through the different activities. And in the same chapter we are introducing chef as a professional. So these pre-vocational skills and things also we are introducing through this. And then when it comes to the happy and healthy living, here there is a mentioning of how it's not only healthy, it's that how it can be happy as well. So basically, ultimately we all do all the kinds for, for becoming a happy person.
Right.
So how is it food enough, or is there something else to be there? So we talk about the exercise, we talk about how we can do certain kinds of meditation, you can make yourself free. And in the same chapter we are saying how you can have a gratitude to the people who provide you food, wherein we are trying to address the issue of food scarcity for people, and then how you can appreciate the effort of farmers and others who are involved in bringing it through a very beautiful, if we can see the very beautiful picturization. We are trying to show that there are different harvest festivals in India, and it's our practice of giving respect to the Mother Earth.
Right.
So that's what we are trying through this particular unit. And the next unit is about how things work and then how things are made. Similar, on similar lines what we had in grade 3, we thought we should have 2 chapters at least for this, wherein children understand the physical world in a more deeper way, so that when the disciplinary areas like science is introduced after, in class 6, they are
also
into
vocational
more of the process.
education.
Yeah, true, both. So the process which is involved in the science, like observation, inferring, making things, and then hypothesizing and coming out with their own judgment and then trying out again. So that elements we have tried through these 2 chapters, how things work and then how things are made. Very interesting activities we have for these chapters.
I can see there is a top, bangle, spinning, and all of that.
Through that. So we have certain, I can show you that through this as well. Yeah. Here you can see that how things are made, we have certain activity. This, the one that you are saying, that we can at least know whatever available things, like a bangle or coin, it doesn't spin in the same way. And there are different factors which contribute to whether it spins. And then spinning is something which children are fascinated with. From the childhood they do try that, and they're even now when I was trying with the bangle, I was fascinated. I couldn't do the beginning. So it actually wobbles at the end, and then it comes to an end with a sound, and then it comes to a silent. So it's a very interesting activity to be done, and then teachers can use the available material. So we had given teachers note as well for each unit. We have
so we have tapped into activities that students are generally curious about.
True that, sir. And there is something like how things are made. It's that for children to do it. An activity is given like recycle paper. We also have tried in when we are developing the textbook as well.
This is fascinating. This is
this is what we have tried to make, and you can do it much better than this as well. It depends on the glues, how much you use it. So this activity, the step-by-step activity, steps of it's given in the textbook, so they can try out.
This you made?
Yeah, it's made in the department. Our group has made it. When we are developing the textbook, we have tried out this, and it's very interesting activity for children to do that. Even they play with that water and then pulp when they make it. We enjoy doing it. I'm sure the teachers and the students also would enjoy doing these activities. The last unit is about the environment, our environment. Here we have different lands and different lives. That is the title of the first chapter. This is a very interesting chapter with very vibrant colored pictures. You can see it.
There's the ocean, there's the mountain.
We are trying to introduce four different lives. If it could be displayed here. This is a double spread picture we have given. One is about the plain, the next is about the coastal region, then we have about the desert, we have about the
mountains.
Mountains as well. Mountains, desert.
Not just the landforms, all the cultural forms, dances, etc.
Exactly. We have a competency which is that how children relate the natural environment and the social environment. So here through the picture reading, we are asking children to identify the flora and fauna, the kind of the social life that they could see it through the picture. So here that everybody is interconnected, that interdependence of the nature and then social life, that has been tried to portray through the pictures. And these through this is a beginning of the chapter on geography and then other about the in the social science especially. So here children are observing the picture, they are identifying the how interlinked our lives are. So it's a very interesting, the whole chapter, it is about the 4 children's experiences of being in Punjab, Odisha, then Sikkim, and then in Rajasthan. So these through the children's experiences, we are trying to bring that element of curiosity among children and trying to appreciate the linkage between natural and social world as well. So this is how we have framed our the whole book in these 5 units.
Right, and the exercises are also very interesting, they're very engaging, there are lots of activities for students to fill. For example, on page 150, if you could show, just the unit that we talked about of comparing lives in mountains by capturing the differences in trees, animals, house, clothes, food, festival and art forms. So it is, it makes students observe and think quite a bit. Yeah, if you could show that. Yes.
Basically, sir, assessment, we considered assessment as a very standalone activity in earlier times.
Right.
That we have a text and then we ask it and fill in the blanks, or we ask them one-worded or a description explanation kind of a question for children to answer. This time we have, for each chapter, we have a session of let us reflect. Here we try the children actually reflect on it. The term
and there
reflection,
are open-ended questions.
Yeah. Most of the things are open-ended. We have different kinds of activities. Some of the things the children has to go observe and then fill the table kind of thing. And there are certain activity which like riddles, and they have to identify the, through the riddle they have to identify a community agency or depending on the content. And we have certain things like design and draw certain things as well. See, there is one activity which is given to children. It's about how do you create your own herb garden, and you have to draw it. So there are different ways that you can do the herbal garden. I have seen, sir, I have wonderful experience in one of the schools in Odisha. There was a herbal garden which was done in form of a geometrical figures. Like they have planted tulsi in the form of a triangle, and then aloe vera in terms of a rectangle, and kind of thing. So children have their own ideas and innovative ideas to create that herb garden. So we have we are trying to give children experiences of designing certain things. And even the landform chapter that we are discussing, we have given an activity that design and draw a landform by combining your favorite features from mountains, plains, coastal region and deserts.
Right.
So that means it's the completely imagination. You can have, kind of a landform saying that like a mountain region, वहाँ पे coconut tree. It could be an imagination for children to do that. May not be that it's scientifically, accurate, but at the same time, it's that children are imagining kind of a landform where they do live. Because we have certain, kind of challenges also based on certain landforms. We have discussed about the flood when we are talking about the coastal region, and landslide when we talked about the mountain region in Sikkim. So maybe the children have certain innovative ideas also, how do they contribute to the life as well. Right. For example, the first chapter of living together, you cannot see one element in one chapter alone. It is actually, we try to integrate across the chapters. One of the first chapter, we are asking children that in your locality, in your neighborhood, then what is that change that you are visualizing, envisioning that this has to be changed. It could be any small thing. It could be about, as you are saying, about the cleanliness, some place to be clean, or it could be that they want to contribute to one of their classmates do not have house, and then it's not that only monetary help that the children can do. It's that they motivated their parents and in small whichever way they could.
Very different kinds of skills they can learn. Yeah. This is also diplomatic skill to get the whole community together to get something.
True, that's negotiation and meaning making out of it. And ultimately it is that you are evolving as a responsible citizen for the country. Right. So we are trying to do that through the value addition, through the skill development, and having a rich knowledge structure as well. both indigenous knowledge and when I say indigenous knowledge, we talk about the Indian knowledge system. In across the chapters, you can see that different elements of indigenous knowledge has been portrayed.
Right. You also have some more things over here, and which are
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is about some. This, if I can show you here, these are the creative ideas that students had. These are made by students with the paper. As I explained earlier, we have a chapter called How Things Are Made. So where we talk about the different waste management, 5E waste management, 5R waste management techniques. In fact, in grade 3 we talked about, we discussed about the 3 R's. Here we thought we can talk about the 5 R's. So we talk about the reuse and recycle and then repurpose and so on. So these are made by children who are nearby in Delhi. Right. So they have tried that with the papers they can do. You can encourage your students to make as many as, and then using used material also. They are very creative beyond our imagination.
So this would fall into which are reuse.
Yeah. And this is reuse, whereas this one what I have shown, it is the recycle. And this recycled paper could be used for making some greeting cards. Suppose you want to say happy birthday Papa.
Absolutely.
So we can encourage our children that they, instead of buying a greeting card, they can have a gratitude card as well.
Where everything gets lost on WhatsApp and the virtual world, a real card made with paper, which we ourselves have made, would be a fascinating treat and delight. Yeah.
True, sir. Yeah, that was the idea, having this activity for children.
So, children should try these activities in this book, and teachers should guide them through it. And finally, ma'am, we are running out of time, but the last question, what is your advice to teachers and educators how to approach this book, since it's a new book?
Sir, I believe whatever the best textbook we have, if the teacher is not using it properly or not facilitating or not motivating students to use it, I don't think the passion with which we develop the textbook has achieved the targets or the vision. My request to the teachers that give space for children to explore and experiment. There are many activities which are given in the textbook, but even in the earlier discussion, you must have heard that textbook is only one of the learning teaching materials that could be used. This is not the only one.
It's actually just a catalyst.
Yes, exactly.
The exemplars, we have given examples, you should explore in your own local context, and students can be very creative, unleash their creativity and make learning more student centric.
Yeah. Basically it's for children. We all love children, and then any kind of the pedagogy lies in the love towards children. So my request to the teachers that you create that space for children to experiment and innovate, and then please be value to the passion of children, and then encourage them to use the activities. At the same time, the students also, I am sure they also may enjoy reading the book, and have a request to the parents as well, because we have used and we have introduced the different activities with the support of parents. We think it's all the collaborative effort of all the stakeholders. It's not only the school or the teachers, it's the parents and the children, and then all the stakeholders involved. So I'm hoping that all of us will enjoy reading the book, and then having a very interesting pedagogical strategy that we use it for this book.
Right, that was a very engaging discussion, ma'am, and thank you so much for
Thank you so much for
us.
the opportunity. Thank you so much.
So that was the world around us and the book Our Wondrous World of Class 4 in this series Transformational Teaching for Class 4, the first one, and tomorrow we'll have a session on physical education. So all the new books of grade 4 are out, and students and teachers should go get them and learn from them. So thanks a lot for joining us, and thank you Dr. Krishnan and Bhumi for interpreting in sign language. And now we have this little announcement about Balpan Ki Kavita, which is, if you have written a poem, or if you would like to share a poem written by somebody else about childhood, we have an opportunity for you. Here's the video.
क्या आपको भी गीत, कविता पढ़ने, लिखने और गाने गुनगुनाने में रुचि है? तो आइए शिक्षा मंत्रालय भारत सरकार की एक अनूठी और सराहनीय पहल का हिस्सा बने तथा भारतीय भाषाओं और अंग्रेजी में लोकगीत और कविताएं भेजें। आप दिए गए लिंक पर अपनी रचनाएं अथवा किसी अन्य रचनाकार के गीत और कविताएं भेज सकते हैं। भारतीय भाषा कविता प्रतियोगिता के नियम आदि भी आपको इसी लिंक पर उपलब्ध होंगे।
So thank you very much viewers for joining us again, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another session on physical education at the same time at 10 a.m. So keep watching NCERT official. Thank you. Namaskar.